connections on this blistery Wednesday afternoon, and boy, was it cold driving up here. We thought it was really important to have back on Mark Pugh with iServPro, because he is the IT consultant that Hook Connect endorse, and we endorse him. But he has a lot of information on what the consumer and the business owner should do if you are insured with Anthem, because of all the problems going on with our not being secure and any of our information. Can you first tell us when this all started, which we know about, how it started and how it has progressed so far, so the consumer can just be aware of this is what's taken place so far. And then the next segment, maybe we'll talk about this is what you need to do to protect yourself and to protect your loved ones. So you want to just go over that a little bit?
Sure. As many people have been aware of the news, it's been out there pretty heavily lately, that Anthem was compromised, had a database compromised. As I understand it, it took place in December. They discovered it in January and notified everybody, obviously, about 2 weeks ago or so, first week of February. So far as I understand, 80 million people approximately are affected by this, going back to even previous customers back to 2004.
Ooh. Wow.
So a lot of people affected. The information that was gathered was names, addresses, and phone numbers. Social security numbers were compromised. No credit card information was compromised, as they have told everybody, at least.
But most people don't pay for their health insurance by credit card.
Most people don't know, but that database is a separate and secure location.
Right.
So, and at least as I understand it from the reports, they have not truly said yet whether or not any health information was compromised. That's one topic that has not been discussed at this point. So. We don't know to the extreme or extent just yet, and they are mailing letters to everyone, not sending emails. That was a problem that took place about a week ago. Somebody started to capitalize on that with some spam messages, trying to get people to sign up for fake ID protection services. So, that was a whole different. That's almost a whole different topic that took place. Is they used that database of email addresses they gathered. Subsequently sent email out to people trying to get them to sign up for free ID protection. So they, let's scare you over here.
And then steal your information.
And then steal more information from you. Yes, exactly. They were probably gathering credit card information at that point. So it's more likely, from what I've heard, a Chinese hack that took place. We don't know for sure yet. They haven't really truly announced that detail, but they're saying that the sources came from China. It could have been. It could have been. These are organized criminals who are gathering this information, and it was a very sophisticated and detailed hack. So we don't know really truly who's to blame here. I mean, it's very difficult in today's technology world to secure databases, any kind of information on the internet. Wow. I tell people if it's on the internet, it's potentially exposed. I don't care what you do. So just be cautious about information that you put out on the internet or you give to people.
So, Mark, and some people say, well, so what if they have any of my health information? Can you kind of explain to people exactly what that so what information would mean if somebody got into your, or even a dignitary with the United States government got into their health information?
So I'll share an example. I'll make it up off the top of my head here. So let's just say you are a large corporation, let's say in one of the states that may have been affected by the hack that took place, that happened to be a company that their corporate insurance package is done by Anthem. And you wanted to compromise the CEO's wife or family or security officer or financial person and blackmail them because you know information about their health, poison them because you know that certain types of, say, a allergic reaction to something could potentially take place. So it's very dangerous if somebody could potentially get that information and then subsequently use it against someone. This very well could have been a targeted attack. They may have well been looking for specific individuals' health records.
And then just
we don't know.
Everybody else in the lump sum of...
Sure, they make it look, These are criminals. This is organized crime. So they know that they got to make it look like it's something maybe a kid did. In this situation, nobody's going to think that. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. But these are criminals. They're going to try to hide their activity. So.
And I know the administrator of my account was the company that I retired from, and I've got the retirement health insurance, and it's through Anthem. And I forwarded you the email that I received from them, which pretty much says, go get them. I mean, pretty much that's what that email says is, they take care of your health insurance, but this is what they've done, and shame on them, and you'll receive a letter from Anthem, which I still have not received.
Me neither. So I'm a customer too, so I get it.
I've received several of the spammies Anthem emails, but if you just go up to
I want a copy of that, by the way.
If you just go up to the email address, you can tell it's not really from Anthem. So because you
it
taught
very
me how
much
to do that.
the email very much looks like a legitimate email, but if you really look at the from address, it is not legitimate.
Correct.
It's called phishing, and then phishing is spelled with a PH. If you want to dig up more detail about that, but they're phishing for information. That's what that is.
Absolutely. Wow, it's kind of scary. How many? 80 million.
80 million people
80
are
million
potentially
people.
affected. Yes.
Are you with Anthem?
I got a notice from my former PEO company because I was with
at
them.
one point?
Yeah.
There you go. See, so it's going back. So it may not be current insured. It could be going back to 2004. So you may not be with them now, but you could have been either through a
So
business.
you got an email from the PEO company that was in charge of it at that time.
Absolutely.
The administrator. Yeah.
I really haven't read too much into it because, and most people probably think this, well, what's the most that they could really do to me? And I'm sure that you'll tell us more about that in our next segment about all the different things that can happen to you if they get a hold of your stuff. So.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening. Like, I don't really want people to know all my ailments. It's bad enough when you're just being over 50.
When you're talking about blackmail, I mean, that could be something too. Maybe there's something in someone's past life that could be, revealed. Maybe they were in treatment for drug rehabilitation or, something like that could really scar
any things that could scar an image of an employee or a company. I mean, somebody gets some information and the next thing you know, there's a press release from someplace and the next thing you know, this company CEO is in some sort of a, scandal of some sort that it could have all been triggered from the information gathered.
Wow. Yeah.
We are going to have to take a short break here in a few minutes, so we will learn more in the next segment. But I wanted to thank Logan Street Signs and Banners for allowing us to be here in the Wofford Theater and Jim Wofford. We are going to take a short break, and we will be back shortly.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street Signs and Banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Welcome back to Hook Hook Connections, and we are here today with Barb Hook, who is the CEO of Hook Connect. I'm Gina Scott Hawkins with Star Media Group, and this is Mark Pugh. He's our guest today from iServPro, and we are talking about the security breach that happened with Anthem. In the last segment, we talked about the details about what happened. In this segment, we're going to ask some questions to find out more about what are some things that the person who has potentially been affected needs to do, and what potential things could happen to them if they don't take these steps. So if you want to kind of share with us some more details about how a person could be affected and what they need to do to get that taken care of.
Sure. So currently, the items that could be involved, because they have Social Security number, your email, your home address or business address, and or both, name, the details, the spelling, they're going to have the details that they can essentially steal your identity. So what you're looking for here is, and what you want to be cautious of is, maybe some phone calls that come in that says, hey, you set up a credit account with us and you haven't paid us in 6 months or 3 months or whatever. That should be an alarm bell that something may be off. I was telling people as soon as last week not to do any of the ID monitoring, but Anthem has now put out on their website, anthemfax.com, where you can click a link and it will take you out to the ID monitoring and protection that they're offering 2 years free for. And I would advise anybody who's been an Anthem customer all the way back to 2004 just to go ahead and sign up. It's free for 2 years. It's you'll want the protection because you really do not want to have to deal with cleaning up your identity. It is an absolute nightmare to deal with.
So can you do that for your children too?
Yes. As I understand it, you sign yourself up. They send you an email with a code. You use that. Then you have to sign up again they give you another code to use for your children and so forth. So anybody who would have been in the Anthem database should be signed up.
And that's from 2004
2004 till now.
That encompasses a lot of people.
Oh yeah, that's quite a big.
They're a part of the health exchange, so they've got ensure that those numbers were increased over the last couple of years. So
that's probably true. At that point, my children were insured with Hoosier Healthwise, and so that probably could affect a lot of low-income people that really can definitely not afford to have their.
Yes. I was talking with somebody last week, and they was telling me that they made this is not related to the Anthem one, but just gives you an example of what can take place. He was traveling, rented a car in Southern California. One of the car rental attendants made a photocopy of his ID. Took that, created another ID for the state of California, same address and phone number, and did some other stuff with it, except the picture and the height, weight information, and precipitated to set up credit accounts with everybody and their brother. And this was a ring because there were a bunch of people involved that allowed this to pass through. They were able to catch these people in this situation because he was on the ball and found out what was going on. At one point in time, he had $60,000 in debt under his name.
Wow.
And
Just ruins your life.
Wow.
He said he spent over 200 hours trying to correct the problem.
And
now do the math.
How much money?
Yeah.
Well,
just the 200 hours.
200 hours.
Of his time.
Just think about that. So, making phone calls, he had to call every state to get police reports created. He had to go through the whole process of making sure that he wasn't liable for all the information that was, or the debt that was created because of all this. He's probably still dealing with some of it. Wow. But these credit monitoring systems that are out there, again, Anthem is offering 2 years free of monitoring and identity repair, I think, services is what it includes. If someone was to compromise your identity, this would then go back and they would do the work, not you. So that's their responsibility. So
the thing to make sure is that when you're signing up for this, that you're doing it through the authorized Anthem site and not through one of the emails that you receive that could be
correct. That is correct. Yes.
And could you spell out that website so the listeners can actually go to
Yes, it
that
actually
website?
should be on the screen. Anthem Facts, FACTS.com.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
If you have to, you can also Google, Anthem facts or something to that effect, and it will, that'll take you to their website. That's the website that they're kind of trying to keep up with people. Mm-hmm. There's also I believe, I don't know if it's still out there, but there was a Q&A, an FAQ, frequently asked questions related to this hack, and their responses to that are on that website as well.
Okay. So a lot of us are very careless when it comes to using the internet to sign up for things. And I know this is maybe a slightly different topic, but are there some tips that you can tell people that can protect them a little bit more whenever they are doing online purchases or things like that can help with their identity?
Sure. So everybody has a plethora of accounts, probably, and not everybody, but there are a lot of people who have a Amazon account, and could be anything. But that's an example. You could be doing a lot of shopping where you create an account. You don't realize you create an account, but you did, and it may be saving your credit card information in there. Your passwords are very important. I can't stress enough. Passwords need to be different for every site. They need to be complex. And whenever you're making a purchase, what I tell people is make sure you look up at the top of the screen where it shows the information to the website, and make sure that says HTTPS, and that there's a lock up there someplace. Most every one of the browsers has that information there. If it's not locked, it's not sending that information encrypted to the server. So anybody who happens to be in the middle between your computer and their servers can just read that plain text. And there's no, you want to make it easy for somebody, that's how you do it. So, most of the larger websites, you're not going to purchase something that's going to be there. But just make sure that before you start typing in credit card information or your social security information online, which you really should never have to do, except in a situation where you're signing up for ID protection from a monitoring company, right? So you will need to probably give them that information. But make sure it's secure. Make sure that link is there, that lock is there. That's very, very important.
Okay. So anybody that thinks that they may have ever even had insurance with Anthem should probably go ahead and follow up with that and make sure and go ahead and sign up for the protection, and just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, on the safe side at this point, it's not going to hurt anything. They offered it out there pretty quick, so I would say yes, do it.
Right.
Okay. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll ask some more questions and try to make sure we're helping you guys become more secure out there as you're doing things online. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, Logan Street Signs and Banners, and Mark for being here today to share this information with us, and we will be right back.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street Signs and Banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
welcome back to Hook Connections. Gina and I are hosting a guest today, Mark Pugh with iServPro, talking about the Anthem Data Breach and how we could all be affected. And so the last segment, we're just going to, both of us, ask him some questions of things we might have forgotten. I know one question I have, and we didn't have time to go over it, but after that 2-year free period that Anthem is going to be paying for that service for us, because I'm one of those that's insured with Anthem also.
Sure.
What do you think we should do anything? And if we do anything, who do you recommend that not recommend, but suggest that we look into?
So I think Anthem is using ID Clear or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact name of the company. You can continue. They're probably going to offer some sort of a deal to keep people on, it'd be my guess, as that 2 years gets too close to expiring, and they may even offer a discount. If that's the case, take it and run. It's going to be relatively inexpensive. It's insurance, essentially, for protecting your ID. I currently use a Xander insurance package that Dave Ramsey recommends. For insurance, there's also LifeLock, which is one that's mentioned. I believe all of the credit bureaus offer some level of ID monitoring and protection that you can pay a little extra for. A lot of people don't want to pay the extra, and I understand that. But if your ID is, this information is, even though they're going to offer 2 years of free monitoring, what's going to happen is these hackers may hold the information. And they're going to. It's already in a database that they're on the black side of the internet. That is, it's going to be out there. It's going to be sold, and it could be sold 5 years from now, or a portion of it. People buying snippets of 8 million. This is going to go on for a long period of time. So my advice would be prepared to extend that period beyond 2 years and just continue to. It's going to be one of those things you have to have, like car insurance.
And real quick, if you actually know, I'm not sure if you know the answer to this. What are the disadvantages and the advantages of going in and to each separate credit bureau and doing their freeze that some people are announcing? Pete the Planner, I think, had something posted this week on social media about that. So
a credit freeze, while you can do that, it can make your life a little bit difficult if you do need to apply for credit, because essentially you've got to unfreeze your credit in order to establish whatever account you're trying to create with, let's just say, a car dealership or for that matter, an insurance company. They're going to need the information to potentially sign you up for insurance. It's credit worthiness, so they're going to be checking some of that. But if you're going to apply for credit with a bank or a credit card or anything like that, if your credit is frozen, they're not going to give you credit. Essentially. So you're going to have to call the credit bureaus, unfreeze it, so that the information can then be done. So I would recommend that you only freeze your credit if you've confirmed you've already had a situation with your identity being compromised. Yeah. Then immediately freeze the credit. Because then but those who use cash all the time, you don't have a problem. But not everybody needs that, and there's still that out there. So and there's different types of protections out there. So as an example, credit monitoring, all they're doing is monitoring credit for any kind of suspicious activity. Okay, identity theft protection, where they actually are protecting your identity. They're going to ensure that your identity is protected from the perspective of, if it happens, we'll clean it up for you. So there's different terminology. Ask the right questions to make sure you understand that with the bureaus that you're potentially going to be talking to, or the companies you're going to use to monitor this. But I would say after 2 years, you should still get it. I've had even prior to this. I've been using Xander Insurance's protection for probably 2 years. I had LifeLock before that. So.
I know that there's a segment of our population that's probably a little bit more susceptible to these situations, and not that they are specifically targeted, but they might not necessarily know the proper steps or be able to to find the information on how to clear this up,
or even have the ability to do it
exactly.
on the internet.
So can you talk to us about who those are and what they can do?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel really sorry for the elderly or the older generation that is not as computer literate. They're going to be the ones that are the most susceptible, I believe, to this. Especially even potentially if how old they are, they could be after their death. It could potentially become an issue because the Social Security number's out there, 80 million of them. Do the math.
Yeah.
So, my recommendation would be to talk to your family to see if you can get your family to help you. That's going to be a key. Most family members can get on the internet and look that information up, or get you the information, sign up, or a phone number to where you can call. Obviously, if they send you a letter in the mail, which they're supposed to be doing, follow the instructions on that letter that's sent to you. I'm sure there'll be a phone number on there for you to call to sign up for the protection. So,
and then probably be a little bit more leery of unsolicited emails and phone calls.
And phone calls. That's another one that's key. They have your phone number, so they may call and say, "Hey, we're calling from Anthem to tell you that you may have been compromised. So please give me your credit card information so that I can sign you up for this thing." They don't need your credit card. You're getting 2 years free. So there should be no need to pass that information along to them. They should not be calling you. And one of the other scams that's happening a lot too, and I'll just throw this out here because this is happening quite frequently, it's been going on for years, is people calling from quote-unquote Microsoft technical support wanting to get access to your computer, okay? And they direct you to go to your computer, that it's been compromised, we need to get on there and clean this up. Well, it's a lie, okay? It's a call center. All they're trying to do is get you to give them access to your computer so that they can steal whatever either information they can gather off the computer or use the computer for some other malicious potential capability.
Yeah, you get lots of cookies pop up that say that too. Yeah.
Infect your computer so then you can turn around and buy the cleanup software from them.
That is correct, yes. Ads are bad.
Wow.
So, that situation. We're in a business where we want to sell ads, but the problem is that advertising on the internet can be dangerous too. So.
Well, and we will try to keep you posted in the future about things that are happening and anything new that we find out from Mark. I would like to thank again our sponsor, Logan Street Signs and Banners and Wofford Theater, for allowing us to have it here. And also wanted to talk about next week's guest. He is a CPA. His name's Tim Dagus, and he's going to be talking to us about when do you really need a CPA to take care of your needs. I know a lot of people don't think that they need one. They do their taxes themselves, but some of those people really, short themselves some money when it comes to filing their taxes.
How'd you get an accountant at this time of year?
Well, it's just who you know. It's a Hook Connect endorsed partner.
Indeed.
So Gina and I would like to thank you all for tuning in. And if you actually want to share or review this video, it will be on YouTube in the next day or so. So you can go to the Hook Connect channel on YouTube if you would like to share it with other family members and how they should protect themselves. So thank you again for our show today.